So you're wondering if the person you're dating is into you. Like, are they really into me? And this is a very valid question because the reality is time is of the essence. You don't have time to waste. So you want to make sure that, okay, if I keep investing in this, that me and this person are on the same roadmap, that we're on the same page, that my investment will yield returns. So you're absolutely within your rights to be grappling with this question. What I will say though is the fact that you have that question in the first place, that is not a great sign, to be completely honest with you, right? Because that indicates that on some level, you probably already feel like maybe they're not that into you, but you just need some confirmation. Now, the truth is, there is no sort of exhaustive list of like, these are all the things that show that a person is not into you. However, I do want to discuss a few signs that I would be wary of. That if I notice these things, I would be questioning things like, okay, should I really move forward? So let's dive right into these signs. So the first thing is you've been seeing this person for a few weeks or for a few months, and it looks on paper like you're progressing, right? You're spending a lot of time, you're investing a lot of your emotions, and so you want to have the conversation around exclusivity, as that is the natural, kind of next level of commitment, right? Not even, oh, let's get into a relationship. You're talking about exclusivity on account of the fact that you're spending so much time around each other and you feel like you've been building. But you notice that this person is very hesitant, very reluctant to define what things are between you, right? They just don't want to have that conversation. And then they might even compare you to other people that they're dating. So they're still actively dating other people. This is not a good sign. This is not a good sign. No, a person does not have to be open to becoming exclusive after one or two dates. But we're talking like weeks or months, and they're still hesitant. They're still reluctant. They don't want to entertain that conversation. You know what you call a situation where you're neither here nor there? A situationship, right? And that's what you're going to find yourself in if that's what you're dealing with. And that is the absolute opposite of what you're looking for. So that is definitely a sign. That is definitely a sign. Another thing is that you notice that this person, you have to like cajole them into wanting to spend time with you. Like you've got to persuade them, right? It's a gargantuan task to get them to be available. And even when they are available, when they are in your presence, when you do manage to get them to grace you with their presence, you notice a potent lack of curiosity. They're not that interested in you or what you have to say. They're not that engaged. In fact, you might even feel like it's almost like they're tolerating your presence. You know that they don't really want to be there. That is not a good sign because there needs to be mutual interest, mutual engagement, right? There shouldn't be guesswork here. And it shouldn't be one person feeling like they have to push, 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 or give, 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 and they're not getting much in return. If you're enjoying this video, I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe below. But let's get back into it. Another sign that I would be very wary of is if this person is not willing to compromise. Like everything must be on their terms. So they can only meet up when they're available, and even if you have other commitments that day, they expect you to move things around or you're willing to move things around to make time to see them, but it's never reciprocated. It has to be when they're available, and if you can't meet them on that day, then tough, right? Or even down to, okay, what kind of restaurant should we go to? They only want to eat in one particular type of restaurant. I only want Thai food, even though you don't like Thai food, but they're not willing to budge. They're not willing to try something else that would be suitable for the two of you. That is not a good sign. Because here's the thing, for any relationship to thrive, there needs to be an element of compromise, right? Every relationship contains a series of negotiations. One being, where do we go to eat? Where will we go on holiday? Where will we choose to live, right? And the reality is, no one person can have it exactly their own way all the time. There needs to be that willingness to concede some ground in certain situations. So if you can already tell that this person has a lack of willingness to compromise, well, that's not a good sign, to be completely honest with you, right? Now, Another thing is you find that they have this kind of unhealthy attachment to their ex. Like they're constantly talking about their ex, they're constantly reminiscing about memories, or they might even tell you that they miss them. Or they might compare you to them in an unfavorable way, like, oh, they used to do this, 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 you don't do this, 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 and it's making you feel bad. It's affecting your confidence, it's affecting your sense of security. And maybe you even sense that they like that, the fact that you're in this sort of anxious place. That is a very bad sign, okay? That is a very bad sign. You don't need that, those unresolved feelings. You need to be with a person who has room emotionally to build with you, right? You don't need someone whose room is, being taken up by somebody else, right? Now, another thing is if they tell you point blank that, I don't really see where this is going. Like, I don't know if I'm necessarily in this for the long run. Let's see how things go, etc. Listen, if they're telling you this, believe them. Don't take it upon yourself to try and win them over, right? You don't want to be in a situation where it's like unrequited love, where you're so into this person and they're clearly not that into you. In fact, they have told you as much, but you're still trying to kind of win them over. You're fighting a losing battle. You're fighting a losing battle. If they have told you that they don't see where this is going, they don't see themselves in this long term, believe them. Believe them. Okay? Now, another sign is that you notice that, they're not really keen on introducing you to members of their inner circle, like close friends, close family members. And even when you ask to be introduced, they kind of fob you off. Or the flip side is, you want to introduce them to your inner circle and they're not very keen. They kind of, again, fob you off. That's not a good sign. Because if there is mutual interest, mutual enthusiasm, there should be a willingness on both sides to integrate on some level, right? But if you see this lack of willingness, that is something to be concerned about, to be completely honest with you. Now, another thing is that you notice that this person is overly flirtatious with other people around you, right? Strangers or even your friends. That is a clear lack of respect, right? That is incredibly disrespectful and it's not something that you should tolerate. Don't let anybody try and justify that kind of behavior to you or try and make you feel like you're insecure if you take issue with that. That is not okay. That is not okay. And look, respect is a foundational component for a healthy relationship. So if you can already see that lack of respect, then you don't need to be in that situation, okay? So these are just some things that I would be concerned about. Like I said, this is not an exhaustive list, but if you notice these things, then there's definitely an issue somewhere, okay? If you've enjoyed this video and you would like me to help you on your quest to find love, then you want to check out my Dream Relationship Toolkit. So it's basically a collection of 4 courses. They're available on my website for $84, but you can access the toolkit today for free by clicking the link below. See you next time.